Hello and welcome to my February TBR featuring my new TBR game, Jenny's Jenga. So first of all, I should say I love TBR games. They are my favourite thing to watch and I just have wanted to have my own for ages, so I've come up with Jenga. I will zoom in a little. I have got inspiration for this game from basically everybody who has ever had or has currently got a TBR game. I should definitely give thanks to Jade from JD Ray Reads because I have definitely taken inspiration from TBR Pursuit. Bella, you are not going to be helpful. But yes, this is going to be my new TBR game, apparently with the help of a cat. So let's go into the rules. So with the rules of my TBR game, it's quite simple. Basically, I have a Jenga tower back here, and I will be pulling out blocks, and each block has got on it, let me just grab one to, that one's hard to see. Each block has got on it a colour and a number. So the colours correlate to a genre and the number correlates to a prompt. There are 54 blocks in my Jenga tower. And I think I've got 70 prompts, so I'm going to be switching, waiting for the cat to knock the tower over. Oh, so the prompts are going to switch out every single time, but obviously the genres will always stay the same. So this one, which is brick 53, is always going to be green, but the prompt for 53 will swap every single time. So with my colours, I've got 7 different colours, starting off with a red, which is middle grade, orange is YA, yellow is fantasy and sci-fi. I'm going to count that as all ages. So for example, YA fantasy, of which I have a lot, can go under both orange and yellow. It can be both YA or fantasy. Green is crime, thriller, horror, mystery, anything under that kind of thriller umbrella. Blue is romance and contemporary. Purple is scary books, is non-fiction, historical fiction and classics, and then pink is any genre. So the way that this game is going to work is I will pull out 5 bricks. Each brick I've got a genre and a prompt, and I've got to obviously try and find a book that completes that prompt in that specific genre. If I can't get one that matches the genre exactly, I will just pick any book outside of the genre, but I add another pull in, so take me up to 6 books. I am starting only with 5 just purely because even though I normally read about 10 to 12 books a month, I want to leave myself room for mood reads, and also I have a certain amount of books I need to read for work, and I want to make sure I've got space to do that rather than ending up kind of not having enough time to read the books that I either have to read or would like to read. So I think those are the rules in the sort of gameplay. There is I don't want to call it a punishment, but at the end of the month, if I have not read any of the books that I pulled from this TBR, then the punishment will be that I will pull 5 bricks out of the tower. They don't count towards anything. They're not prompts. I'm not even looking at what they are. They are just there to destabilize the tower. So that would be before the game happens. If the tower falls, either because I knock it over, she knocks it over, or it just is really unstable and it falls, then I move on to the risk jar, which is currently empty, but it is this friendly snowman. This one will, when I get around to filling it up, have all of the books on my self-destruct list, all of the 23 and 23 books, and all of the series that I'm currently in the middle of that I can make progress on. So there could be books, a lot of those ones are books that I want to read, but maybe not that I want to read right away. So if the tower falls, we go to the risk jar, and if I haven't read any of the books for the following month, then we destabilize the tower a little bit. This might change as I go along, but I thought if I'm just starting off with 5 pulls, then I can, that's an easily manageable amount for me. Plus giving me that, like I said, that space to be able to do some mood reads around that as well. I think that is everything for the rules. So let's zoom in a little bit, maybe move the cat out the way, and get to the gameplay. Okay, pull number 1. I'm going to go, oh no, that one, which is Pink 42. So that is any book, any genre, simple cover. For prompt number 1, which was any book, and the prompt was a simple cover, I'm going to go for Clara and the Sun by Kazuo Ishiguro. This one is, just going to check the blurb here, about Clara, an artificial friend with outstanding observational qualities. And I think it's to do with sort of AI and try not to become too much like the humans. I think this is definitely a simple cover, so this one's on my list. Editing Jenny here, just jumping in, because when I actually went through my TBR and realised everything that I actually had to read next month, and February is the shortest month, I've decided that I'm switching out Clara and the Sun and swapping it for Dear Child by Romy Houseman. The reason is basically this one, again, is still to fulfill the prompt of a simple cover, but while Clara and the Sun looks really, really good and I do want to read it, I've chosen it mainly so it could be a Round the World title for my Round the World series. However, I've already read From Japan, so I'd need to add on another book to read to actually be a new country to tick off the list, whereas Dear Child is Germany and I haven't yet read From Germany. So this is just to kind of make my life slightly simpler. I do still want to read Clara and the Sun because it does just look really, really good, but it's not going to be one that I'm going to come to in February. Brick number 2. Bella, please don't rub against the tower. Ah, got one there. Oh. That's another pink, and that is number 35. That one is, again, any genre, set somewhere that I have been. Prompt 2 was Pink 35, so again, any book, and the prompt was set somewhere I've been. So for that one, I am going to put on The Pale Dreamer, which is, I know I'm holding up the Bone Season, but The Pale Dreamer is included in this one. This is the prequel to the Bone Season, and it is set in Oxford. Yes, it's an alternative Oxford, but I have been to Oxford, so I'm counting it. Set somewhere I've been, I'm going to use The Pale Dreamer. Plus that was a priority read for me this month anyway, as part of the Bookstarer read along for. Right, pull number 3. Let's try some middles. Nope. Belle, please don't knock my tower over. I haven't got my whisk jar set up. Bella, help. That is Orange 16. So that one will be a YA, and the prompt is a book published this year. Oh no. Number 3 was a YA published this year. So I don't own this book yet because it's not quite yet out, but I'm going to be reading Chain of Thorns by Cassandra Clare, which I'll just pop up here. I really like I don't know what that series is called, the Last Hours series, her current series. I'm really, really enjoying it, so I'm very excited to get to Chain of Thorns. And I'm also planning on reading more Cassandra Clare this year. Yes, I read all of the Mortal Instruments last year and did not love them, but I generally do enjoy Cassandra Clare. Just see what this cat is doing. Leave my cats alone. So yes, my YA that has been published this year is going to be Chain of Thorns by Cassandra Clare. Oh, let me get those bricks that she's just not. Try and make that tower slightly more stable. I'm just going to nudge the cat out the way so you can actually see it. Bella, out the way. Please don't knock over my tower. Okay, pull number 5. Let's go with that one while she is distracted elsewhere. That is Red 15, which is middle grade, and it is the oldest book on my TBR. Book number 4 was number 15, a red, which is a middle grade, and the prompt was the oldest book on my TBR. So there are 3 books that I could use for this one. I've got The Kane Chronicles by Rick Riordan, which I'm just probably not entirely interested in. Artemis Fowl by Owen Colfer, or the next one in a series of unfortunate events by Lemony Snicket. I think I'm going to go with Artemis Fowl. Let me just grab that. So for my 4th prompt, I'm going to read Artemis Fowl by Owen Colfer. I've read this one before, but I've never finished the whole series, so my plan is that I would like to read the full series. This one follows Artemis. He is a genius, criminal genius, in fact, and he has found the fairy technology under Ireland and is sort of basically trying to steal that. Cats. Basically trying to steal the fairy technology. Really, really good. I really enjoyed this one, and I'm excited to get back into the world of Artemis Fowl. And then finally, pull number 5. Is Purple 27. Oh no. Purple is non-fiction, classics, or historical fiction. And, ooh, that's a tandem title. So that's a book that has been worked on by Tandem Collective. So, let's see what we've got. 5th prompt I've got is number 27, which is historical fiction, non-fiction. Don't knock that over now. Historical fiction, non-fiction, or a classic, and the prompt was a tandem title, so a book that Tandem Collective have worked on or will work on. I think I am going to possibly take advantage of books I have to read for work. So I think I've got 2 that I'm going to pop on here as options, because I'm not yet sure what the genres of them are. Let me have a think, actually. Oh, I've just finished reading that one. No, I think I know which one I'm going to have to go with. Okay, so for book number 5, which is a non-fiction, historical fiction, or classic, that in the prompt was a tandem title, so one that Tandem has worked on. I'm going to go with Age of Vice by Deepti Kapoor. I don't know if this is really a historical, but I feel like it might be. Actually, I don't think it is at all, is it? It's lit fic. Probably more contemporary. I'm not going to go with that one. Let me find another book. All right, book number 5. This one was really, really difficult, and I have still not made a decision, so I have 3 options. So the prompt for this one was a book that Tandem have worked on, so Tandem title, and it had to be either non-fiction, historical fiction, or a classic. Brain just farted then. Like I said, I really struggled with this one. I do enjoy historical fiction, but it's not a massively preferred genre. I don't really read many classics or non-fiction, so trying to find ones that we've worked on and fits into one of those was really, really difficult. But I have 3 options. So option 1, this is probably the one I'm going to go for, which is The Familiars by Stacey Halls. The reason I'm unsure on this one is I'm actually not sure whether we worked on it. I know we worked on The Foundling, but I'm not 100% sure whether this is a tandem title or not, so I'm going to just double check. This one is historical fiction about a woman who is 17 years old, married and pregnant for the 4th time, She has no living child and her husband is anxious for an heir. She by chance crosses path with a young midwife who promises to help her give birth to a healthy baby, and then drawn into witchcraft accusations. I think this sounds really interesting. I'm gonna just see whether we've worked on that one. We've then got All My Wildflowers by Victoria Bennett. This one is a non-fiction memoir about a mother who has just given birth and at the same time lost her sister, and her journey through motherhood, grief, and finding ourselves through growing a garden. It sounds interesting to me, but it doesn't sound like something that I'm massively leaning towards picking up, so question mark on this one. And then the third option I've got is Rupi Kaur, The Sun and Her Flowers. This is a poetry collection, which I'm just putting in the same category because I feel like it's kind of where the best fit is. As I'm saying that, I'm not 100% sure whether we worked on this specific book. I think we worked on a different Rupi Kaur book. So yeah, not 100% sure. I think I'm probably going to go with The Familiars, and I'm going to put The Familiars on, but those are options in case I change my mind. So my TBR for February, my priority TBR looks like this, plus Chain of Thorns. I am excited. Now there are quite a few other books that I need to read this month as well. I didn't get on as many of those priority reads as I would like to. So the first one that I would like to get on is Joe Abercrombie's The Blade Itself. I'll put it up here. This is for the Backlist Book Club, hosted by Becca at Becca and the Books, and as it's the first one, I would like to read at least the first one to see if it's a series that I want to join in on and a book club that I want to be taking part in. I would also like to read the second Percy Jackson book, which is Percy Jackson, The Sea of Monsters. I'm just going to put it up here because I can't bother to go and get it. And I also, if possible, would like to read the second in the Keeper of the Lost Cities series, which I don't know what that one's called. I don't know. The second one, again, I'll put it up here. I had thought about reading Priory of the Orange Tree because Day of Fallen Night comes out this month. I don't know. It's a possibility. I won't be prioritising it though. It's an optional. There are a few books I need to read for work as well. So I've got, and again I'll pop these ones all up here. I've got The Ark that I need to read, Rachel's Holiday, and The Running Club, and The Beatrice Prophecy. So 4 more books that I need to read for work. So I'll pop those ones up. Finally, in February, it is Polathon, hosted by Jade at JD Ray Reads. I'll leave her announcement up there, I think. I am going to, with that one, there's a spin a wheel for all the prompts. I'm going to be spinning as I go during that week rather than like planning the TBR in advance. So that is going to be a week where I'll be reading some stuff that is most likely not on this TBR, because none of them are polar fantasies. So yeah, TBR is looking quite large. It is just the 5, so these 4 plus Chain of Thorns are the priority reads. Those are the 5 that I will be kind of counting when next month when I look to see have I read the books that were on my TBR. Everything else are not priority, or well, they may be priority reads, but they're not my Jenga TBR. So that was my new TBR game, Jenny's Jenga. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know if you'd like to see more. If you've got any ideas or prompts or anything, please just pop them down in the comments. If you've got this far, I don't know, leave me like is there a brick emoji or stone, something like that. Maybe something that just looks gamey or bricky or something. And I would love it if you could like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.